And we are live, people. Welcome to the channel Chosen Wisdom Football, where critical thinking is a must. This is a football channel for the intellectuals, for the critical thinking people who love football in its purest form, people. On today's show, there is a lot. There you go, people. Welcome to the channel Chosen. Sound check is perfect, people. Like I was saying before, I was rudely interrupted by myself. Today is a day of very interesting stories, people. First and foremost, we have the Thomas Partey news. Yes, guys, it's big news. He has been charged with 5 separate instances of grape by the Metropolitan Police, people. This is a big deal. It is big news, and we are going to take a deep dive into this news. What does it mean? What has actually happened? Why he's been charged? What he's been charged with? The outcomes, the implications of this for Arsenal Football Club and for football in general. We are going to talk about this Thomas Partey news because it is absolutely giant news, people. Also on today's show, we've got 5 Man United stars that want to leave, and I think we know who they are. So officially, and it's been reported by many official channels, 5 Manchester United stars have essentially handed in their transfer request. We kind of know who they are, so we're going to get into that news as well. On top of that news, we also have the fact that it's been announced today that Cunha will be wearing Marcus Rashford's number 10 shirt. Yes, people, it is official. Marcus Rashford is not happy. We're going to get into that as well. Nico Williams, people. Nico Williams has signed a 10-year deal. Right, 10-year deal at the Athletic Club. Does that open the door to Rashford going to Barcelona? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Also, unofficial stuff. This is, not many official channels or journalists are reporting on this. However, Manchester United are apparently in for another goalkeeper, John Victor, who plays for Botofogo. He's playing in a Club World Cup right now. I don't know much about him. I don't see many reputable people confirming this link, but we'll talk about it. Also, there are more updates on the potential transfer of HOJLUND to Inter Milan, so we are going to talk about that as well. So Thomas Partey, Man United stars wanting to leave, Cunha number 10 shirt, Nico Williams, Rashford, Barcelona, new goalkeeper, HOJLUND going to Inter Milan. There's a lot for us to get through. There's a lot for us to get through today, guys. As usual, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you've had a good week. It is Friday. The working week is over for most of us in the UK, so we're getting ready for the weekend. So I hope you guys are doing good, feeling good. As always, guys, please smash the like on entry. It's a small channel, so every bit of like, every conversation, every post, every chat that you put in, every message that you send to me, it is all appreciated, and it will make and help the channel grow and help more people see the channel as well, guys. So if you guys can just continue doing what you guys are doing and interacting with me, it will be blessed. It will be blessed. But let's start with this, people. This is very sticky, very delicate subject. So I want to handle this with the most amount of care. Understand that you are innocent until you are proven guilty. Everybody is, no matter what the allegation is. So that is always the stance that we should go with and should approach this issue with. However, Thomas Partey is officially charged with grape, and I will say grape, unfortunately, guys, because if I say the word, I potentially will get, could get banned. I don't know what YouTube are like these days, so I will say grape. but you know what I mean. Anyway, Thomas Partey officially charged with grape by the Metropolitan Police Service. The Crown Prosecution Service has authorised the Metropolitan Police Service to charge a man after a file of evidence was submitted by detectives. The Met has issued a charge and requisition to Thomas Partey, 32, his date of birth, of Hertfordshire, in connection with the following offences: 5 counts of grape, 1 count of sexual, I don't know if I even can say that on YouTube, but I've said it, sexual A word, SA. Let's call it SA, because I'm pretty sure that even saying, the full word might get me banned on YouTube. So that is the official story, people. The first thing I want to say is, once again, you're innocent until proven guilty. We all know that. The second thing I want to make clear to everybody is that there is evidence. As you can see, it says there is evidence. He hasn't been arrested pending an investigation, so they can gather evidence. They've gathered the evidence. They've sent the evidence to the Crown Prosecution Service. They've looked at the evidence and they have decided there's enough evidence to prosecute. I think we need to also understand that in grape cases, 96% of them don't go to court, don't get prosecuted due to lack of evidence. And we also need to understand it's very difficult to prove grape in the courts. It's very hard to prove someone forced themselves and did X, Y, Z to somebody. It is hard. It is also hard to gather evidence. So for this to get to this stage, for the Metropolitan Police to gather the evidence, send the evidence to the Crown Prosecution Service, they see the evidence and they think it's strong enough to charge him. This is a big deal, people. He has officially been charged with these offences. This is a big deal. So for anybody out there who's already made their mind up either way, I'm very concerned, because I've already seen online there are people who are saying free Thomas Partey. There are people who are saying he's innocent. All men, by the way, as you can expect, saying black men should stay away from white women. All of these things. There are people who've already made their mind up and said that he's guilty or he's innocent. Those people are just leading with their emotions, leading with their feelings. And if I was you, anyone who's listening to this, wait until the evidence comes out. Wait until he's gone through the jury system, the legal system, because it is there for this. The reason why the whole system is being designed to prove whether someone's innocent or whether someone's guilty. And once he's gone through the system, if he's guilty, we will know that he's guilty and he will go to prison. And if he's innocent, then all the people can be like, yeah, cool, he's innocent. But until then, I don't know what the evidence is. I don't know what the facts are. You don't know what the evidence is. You don't know what the facts are. So let's not sow ourselves, bed ourselves into any sort of camp. Let's not be saying that he's innocent. Let's not be saying that he's guilty. Let's use our brains, yeah, and admit that for them to charge him with this, they've got some really good evidence. We've already seen the text messages, I believe the text messages of something he did a few years ago surface. So we kind of know what sort of character he is already. He has previouses. So it's very disappointing, I think, to see how many men out there who are willing to side with a potential grapist without even knowing the facts just because they hate women. This is not a problem in football. This is a problem in our society, people. We need to understand that these men out there, they hate women. They feel like they need to have power over women and they need to dominate women. These men have mothers. These men have daughters. These men sometimes have sisters, aunties, nieces. So if your mum, your daughter, your niece came to you and said, Dad, I've been raped, are you going to be like, the guy is innocent? You weren't. Without listening to the evidence, without listening to anything, are you going to say to your mum, Mum, what were you wearing for you to be raped? It's your fault. Are you going to say to your mother or your auntie, it's your fault? Are you going to say to your mother and auntie that I'm going to side with the man, that he's innocent? It's so crazy, yeah, how we view, not we, a lot of men view the women in their lives, because you can't separate how you treat women in general to how you treat the women in your lives. Women are women. Thomas Partey, one of the women that he could have done whatever it do, allegedly, by the way, guys, could have been your auntie. Are you still going to be like, he's innocent if he did it to your auntie? It's insane. So all I'm saying, guys, is let's not say he's innocent. Let's not say he's guilty. Let's understand there's enough evidence for him doing, for the CPS to prosecute. Okay. Next tweet. So this tweet just breaks everything down a bit more. It says, former Arsenal midfielder Thomas Partey has been charged with 5 counts of rape and 1 count of SA. Right? And the alleged offences occurred between 2021 and 2022. And it involves 3 different women. So it's very difficult now for Thomas Partey, because it's not just one woman, it's not 2 women, it's 3 different women, which means this is a pattern of alleged behaviour that is happening. It's also quite relevant that this happened between 2021 and 2022, a 1-year period. There'll be some people coming out saying, what's taking them so long? This was done 4 years ago, 3 years ago. Why now? These people are asking the correct questions, but the reason why they're asking those questions is because they don't know anything. And they use the fact that they don't know anything as a reason for something not to be true. So because they don't know how long things take, they don't know how hard it is to gather evidence and how long it takes, they use their ignorance of not knowing that as a reason for him to be innocent. Because I don't know the process, and the process takes 3 years, it surely means something dodgy is going on. No, mate. No, it doesn't. Listen, it takes... The reason why many of these cases don't go to court is because they take long. If you are a victim of rape as a woman, you don't want some 5-year process where you can't do this, you can't do that. You have to keep doing interviews. The police have to keep contacting you. You have to keep reliving the trauma over and over again. And then you get told after 3 or 4 years that there's still not enough evidence. You don't want to be going through that process. Sometimes you want to forget. Sometimes you just want to forget and put it under the carpet. These things notoriously take long. And I started the stream by saying only about 4% of rapists will ever see inside of a jail. It's one of the hardest things to prove. And it's one of the few crimes that you can literally get away with. You can get away with it. And I think men also know this. So it's alarming. It's worrying. I read a thread on Reddit a few years ago, which essentially said that there will be a storm coming to the Premier League because a lot of men, not just in the Premier League, this is men in general, are not catching up with the times, understanding that if a woman says no and you continue, It's not fun. It's not funny. You don't laugh. If she's saying no and you continue, that is grape. A lot of men are from a period of time where they believe their wife could never. The wife can't say no to me. How can my wife say no to me? She's my wife. I can do whatever I want to her. I've married her for that reason. No, mate, you can't. She's still a human being with autonomy over her body. So there's a lot of men out there that can't get with the fact that a woman can say no to them. It's crazy out there. But there are other questions I think we need to also ask people. One of the questions I want to know is Arsenal Football Club. When did Arsenal know about this? How long have Arsenal known about it? Because there are many other incidences that are similar, not the same. So it's not always easy to compare. But the way Manchester United handled the Mason Greenwood thing, where potentially they wanted him to stay, he went through a process. The charges were dropped in his case, right? But Man United still sold him. Man United still stopped him training. Man United still got rid of that player. Whereas Arsenal, depending on when they knew about this, they still played Thomas Partey. Now, maybe Arsenal only were informed about this very recently. And that is why they decided not to potentially offer him a new contract and not to keep him at the club. But what if Arsenal knew a while back? What if they knew this was coming, but they still kept him? Now, on screen, as you can see, from 2022 people, the Premier League footballer arrested in North London on suspicion of grape has been further arrested on suspicion of 2 more incidents of grape against different women today. So this was released in 2022. Sky Sports, right? Back then, when the incident happened, people, in 2022, Sky Sports reported it, which means Arsenal knew. Arsenal knew back then exactly what he was arrested for, what the allegations were. And they still kept him. They still kept him at the club. So I think Arsenal Football Club need to come out with some sort of statement very soon to let people know what they know, what happened, what they did when he found out what happened. I mean, at the end of the day, there's a difference between being arrested and being charged. Back then, he was just arrested, right? So you can argue 2021, 2022, he was arrested for it. He wasn't charged. Arsenal could say they're within their rights to keep the player. He hasn't broken his contract in any way. He's only been arrested. He hasn't been charged. We can keep playing. And you could argue that now, 3 years later, they've got the evidence and now he's been charged. Arsenal have said, okay, cool. Now you've been charged. Before you were just arrested. Now they've got evidence and you've been charged. We can't fuck with you anymore. We can't play you anymore. We can't be behind you anymore. You have to leave. I'm hoping that's what's happened. I'm hoping that is what's happened here. But this is quite interesting because there's been other incidences where players haven't been charged and just been arrested and clubs have let them go. Now, on your screen, you can see Gylfi Sigurdsson, and I think a lot of you remember this, where there was allegations surfaced about him doing not the same thing as Thomas Partey, but something similar, and it involves children. So that's all I'm going to say about that, right? I'm not going to say anything more. He wasn't charged, right? He wasn't charged. It was just allegations surfaced. But soon as these allegations surfaced, he never played for Everton again. Everton cancelled his contract and told him to F off, right? Without being charged. So it's not the same allegations, but you can argue it is similar. So you don't need to wait for charges to get rid of somebody, as Everton shown. While it might be fair, you can argue it's fair to wait for the charges because you are innocent until proven guilty. But as I said before, for them to get charges, for them to get to this point in the first place, the evidence has to be good. Very good. So I'm concerned about the number of men, football fans, who will stand by Thomas Partey right now. I'm very concerned. As a man with a mother, with an auntie, with loads of women that I love, and I love women, I love you. I love women. I will never be one of those men, grown-ass men that stand around hating on women. For what reason? If you can give me a good reason, people, for me to hate a woman, give me one good reason for me to hate on women. The same person that gave birth to me, that gave us life. I need to hate that. That is crazy. If you give me a good reason for me to be like, women are this and then cool. But there isn't one. And I'm not going to be in my feelings about nothing. I'm going to be as objective as possible. So, just to finish on this Thomas Partey craziness. He has been charged. There's enough evidence to charge him, which means it's a big deal. Right? This is an incident that happened 2-3 years ago, which was reported at that time by Sky Sports News. So we all knew about it 2 or 3 years ago. We now have the evidence to prosecute, right? Arsenal knew about the allegations then. Even though he wasn't charged, they knew about it, but they continued to play him. There are many unanswered questions. On top of all of what I've said, a man is innocent until proven guilty. He will have his day in court. The evidence will be presented, and he will either be proven innocent, either or be proven guilty. Anyone who's already picking a side and saying that he's guilty, or he's innocent, you're not working on facts because you haven't seen the facts. You're not working on the evidence. You haven't seen the evidence. You're working on pure emotion and bias that you already have. That is it. So let's be smart on this channel. Let's not get emotional about this. Let's not wed ourselves here to anything. Like, I don't care about Thomas Partey. So why am I going to come out and defend him and say he's innocent? What the hell? It doesn't make any sense. Big up yourself, TK. Yeah, man, big up yourself. It's a very interesting Friday, very interesting Thomas Partey news, man. So, as you can imagine, as you would expect, Thomas Partey and his camp have come out very, very strongly. They've said that he now welcomes the opportunity to finally clear his name. So you need to understand that the court system works both ways, people. If these are all lies, if the evidence is not strong enough, if these women are doing whatever, lies they're telling and whatever, it will be clear. It will be proven in court. Thomas Partey's name will be cleared and some apologies will need to happen. And, one thing I want to say actually is, even if he is cleared, right, i.e. there's not enough evidence to put him in jail, it still doesn't mean he didn't do it. It just means there's not enough evidence to put him in jail. I think sometimes we forget, and it goes back to my point before, it's very difficult to prove rape. It's very difficult. Most people who do it don't ever go to prison. So it's important also to understand that. However, this process, if for both sides, if it's for Partey to prove his innocence and it's for the prosecution to prove he's guilty. Simple as that. Let's wait until the process has been completed before we all make our verdicts and we choose our sides. That's what I'm saying, people. That is all I'm saying. Let me know what you guys are saying about this. It's not one of those. It's one of those topics that we just have to be careful how we approach it, and we have to be careful how we talk about it, because it's very, very delicate, and we must approach this with some sense, with some intelligence, people, and not just pure emotion. Anyway, let's move on, guys, and talk about Manchester United. The news today, people. Breaking news today from Fabrizio Romano, and it's also being reported on Sky as well. Marcus Rashford, Antony, Alejandro Garnacho, Tyrell Malacia, and Jadon Sancho have all informed Manchester United that they wish to leave. That, to me, is the most common sense tweet, the most common sense, obvious message that we've ever seen. We know these players want to leave. So now it's just official. Now it's just official that he wants to leave. So it's also quite interesting because Man United, we go on, the players come back on the 7th of July, on Monday. And a lot of fans were saying, it's so disappointing that all the players that we want to sell, the Garnachos, the Sanchos, Antonys and Rashfords, they're all going to come back 7th of July. Amorim's going to have to deal with these players that he doesn't want, try to embed them back into the team and all of these things. And the rebuild is not going to go as smoothly as we like and all these things. Relax, people. Relax. As you can see by this tweet, on this tweet, Man United have delayed their return date until after July, until later in July, to allow them to explore solutions further. And I knew this was going to happen. When people were scared that they were going to return and, unsettle the camp, I had a feeling that Man United would not make them return. I said on this channel that if they do return, there's no way they're going to train with the main team. There's no way. There is no way. So, according to this tweet, and according to many official people, many official journalists, they are not going to come back until later on in July so they can find and secure their move. Anyway, big up yourself, TK. I'm not up to speed out here on the Pacific coast of Canada. What's new aside from this non-sport news? What do you mean, TK? What's new in the hood? Non-sport. I don't know. The sun. Yeah, we'll talk about it now anyway. So that's the thing. I think that's a good thing. I think that's a really good thing that these guys are not coming back to training, that they're going to have longer time to get the deal, that they're not going to be integrated into the squad and all these things. It's a good thing. It's a good thing. I don't think... Yeah. We'll move on. We'll move on to TK. But we just had to... I mean, it is sport. It is a footballer who's done something. So it's not sport related, but it is at the same time a sportsman, and it's within sport, if that makes sense. So we've covered it. We've covered it anyway. So we've moved on. So let me know what you guys think about that. The fact that these 5 players potentially won't be coming back to training, and if they get their moves, they won't be seen at Manchester again. Now, moving on from that, Marcus Rashford, or should I say Cunha, has been given Marcus Rashford's number 10 shirt. That is official, people. Official. Cunha is here and he will wear the number 10 of Manchester United, which means Marcus Rashford's time at Manchester United is officially over. He has to get a new club. He has to find a new club. And Man United also confirmed Rashford's representatives were informed that Matheus Cunha would be taking his number 10 shirt. It's definitely over between United and Rashford. I don't know why Fabrizio Romano's got his hand waving there. That's a bit silly, that emoji. Anyway, Rashford dreams of Barcelona move as priority for his future. So it's over, guys. It's done. It's done. I'm happy, very, very happy that Cunha is wearing that 10 shirt. I'm very, very happy that we are being ruthless. We've taken the number from this player. Listen, we've taken numbers here from footballers who stayed at the club. I remember when Antony Martial got his number taken. I think it was given to Cavani, or maybe not Cavani, but it was given to someone else, I believe. So worse have happened. I sometimes feel like Rashford, there's a part of him that believed that there was a small percentage chance here that he could come back to the club. I feel that Rashford thinks in his head that he could come back. He's better than HOJLUND, so he thinks there's a chance. Now that he knows his number has been taken and given to Cunha, this is it. This is the final nail in the coffin for him as a footballer, as a Manchester United footballer. He now knows there is no coming back to Manchester United. None. So I'm happy about that. I want Cunha to wear the number 10 shirt. He's going to be our new talisman. He deserves that number. We need to take the number 7 from Mason Mount. Just no questions asked. Just take it from him. That's what I believe too. So good news is good news that these 5 players, Malacia, Sancho, Garnacho, Rashford and Antony, have all said they want to leave because we want them to leave. So that's good. They are actively trying to find a new club, which is good. Number 10 shirt has been taken from Rashford. Rashford's time at Manchester United is officially done, which is good. So, decent news. This is positive news, people. This is positive news. A lot of people are talking about outgoings being very, very slow. We're bad at doing outgoings. At least we have now made it clear who we want to get rid of. I'm surprised that HOJLUND is not on that list. TK is saying prudent to not have them train, limits injury risk. Yeah, that as well, TK. That's a good point. That was already promised to Cunha before he signed. Had to be. Yeah, I agree as well, TK. 2 good points. I agree with you, bro. That number 10 shirt, yeah, I know. I don't even need to guess. Let's not even guess. That number 10 shirt was promised to Cunha. That's one of the reasons why he's also signed. I also believe the number 7 shirt was promised to Jadon. And that's one of the reasons why he's annoyed. And he was annoyed at Manchester United. So, good news, man. Like, Cunha's there. Cunha will be there on Monday with the squad training. So, we're going to see pictures of Cunha. We're going to see training videos of Cunha. You know the whole thing, man. They're going to do all of that. So, if I see some of them... Listen, I'm going to get gassed up because at the end of the day, people, yeah, we just spoke 5 minutes here about Thomas Partey and grape stuff. So that's negativity. Now let's try to be a bit more positive. Like on Monday, when I see Cunha boarding out in training, I'm gonna be gassed and I'm gonna feel happy, bro. And it's good. It's good too, man. Sometimes life is a bit too negative, and you need to, even though there's loads of negativity, find some positivity somewhere, you know. So good news, people. Good news. Cunha, number 10 shirt, Rashford out here, man. You're out of here. I've wanted Rashford gone for about 3 years, bro. 3 years I've wanted Rashford gone. I was calling it. I've been seeing him walking around in the pitch, not tracking back, thinking he's the guy. We love to inflate people. Whether it's Garnacho, whether it's Rashford or Bruno. Bruno's on 350k, and regardless of how many penalties he scores and all the corners and free kicks he takes, he's not worth 350. And he's another player that we have put on some massive pedestal. It's absolutely insane. And we do this to not all our players, we do this to a lot of our players. We put them into conversations they shouldn't be in. We think they're better than they are. It's not good. It's not good. However, what's TK saying? Quickly in the chat, we need patience. Things will work themselves out. Yes, it's July the 4th, but we have lots of time. Yeah, I mean, if we want everything done by July the 7th, that was never going to happen. All outgoings and all ingoings by July the 7th, by the start of preseason, it was never going to happen. Never. So I agree with TK. Let's show a bit of patience. I do want to talk about the fact that Nico Williams, as you guys can see on the screen, has signed a long-term deal with the Athletic Club. First and foremost, guys, what is the deal with these 10-year contracts? Chelsea are doing 6, 7, 8-year contracts. I think Nico Williams' deal is about 10 years, I believe. 2035. That's insane. Talk about job security. Nico Williams, could in the next 2 years become rubbish. He could stop playing football, stop working hard, but he's contracted to another 8 years. And unless they get someone to sell him to, he can sit on the bench for 8 years and get paid. Like, these long-term contracts are absolutely insane now, people. Anyway, like the story says, the agreement includes a new release clause for 50% compared to 58 million euros previously, and a salary increase. This means the Barcelona deal is off due to registration issues. I don't know why I said the word issues like that. That's crazy. But registration issues. I said it again. How can I say issues? Registration issues. Bomber clad. Yo. So what does that mean? Why am I telling you guys this? I think this means that Rashford to Barcelona might not be some fairy tale dream. It might not be a fairy tale dream. Rashford might get his deal to Barcelona. So, as you guys can see, another source, Marcus Rashford is waiting for Barcelona. I think, now that Barcelona are not going to get... Because I'm not going to lie, people. I came on this channel, and I said to you guys, I think Nico Williams to Barcelona is done. I honestly thought that. So to hear that he signed a 10-year deal. Who else? Also, we got to remember, that the left wing market is not a great market. The winger market is not a great market in general. Like, wingers are dead. But that left wing market, who got what? Garnacho? Rashford? Who else is out there? Nico Williams signed a new deal. Leao? Maybe Rafael Leao, I guess. The left wing market is dead, people. It's dead. So, TK in the chat has said this is the second time he's used Barca to get a deal at Bilbao. So, we know players love to use other clubs to get deals. I didn't expect Nico Williams to use Barcelona to get a new deal at, like, wouldn't you want to go to Barcelona, play with your brethren, Yamin Lamar, win trophies? It's insane. I don't get it. But good luck to Nico Williams. Good luck to you, bro. I think this paves the way for Rashford to Barcelona. Let's keep monitoring this, people. Let's keep our eyes on this situation. But I think now that Nico has signed that contract, we might start getting more concrete stuff regarding Rashford. But Barcelona have never come out and said we're not interested in Rashford. They've never denied it. They've always said we like him. They've never committed to anything. They've never said we're in talks or anything. We're nowhere near that stage, but they've never come out and denied their interest in him. I think there's something in this, people. I honestly think there might be something in this. So let's keep an eye on this. I'll keep looking. I'll keep searching for the news. Every day I'll try to bring it to you. If there's any updates, I'll let you know. But in the next few weeks, let's see what happens. TK, Rashford has been twerking for Barcelona. I saw that interview that he did when he spoke about how he sees himself as Thierry Henry and how he loves Barcelona and all these things. So he's been twerking for PSG and Barcelona for about 4 years now. 4 years. Rashford also wants Barca above all because of taxes. Yep. First 5 years he pays a flat 20% tax rate. Is Spanish tax law for first-time tax. Oh, okay. I never knew that, TK. See? The chat has to teach me some stuff. It goes both ways. Like I said, it has to be that sort of relationship. So yeah, there you go. The tax laws in Spain, first 5 years, he pays about 20% flat tax rate. Beautiful. In the wise words of Eddie Murphy, beautiful, Lillian, beautiful. So that's it, guys. Let's keep an eye on the Barcelona to Rashford to Barcelona news. Anyway, people, this is just rumors. I'm talking to you guys about this stuff, about the new goalkeeper situation, but I don't think this journalist is that reputable, and it's really just rumors. But I don't know, let's talk about it. Let's just mention it. Manchester United have once again shown interest in signing Botafogo goalkeeper John Victor and have renewed talks about the player. A United representative was present at Botafogo's game against Palmeiras. Now, all I'm going to say about this is I've not seen this goalkeeper. So I'm not going to say, I said this many times, I'm not going to come and lie to you guys and say I've seen this guy and all these things. I haven't seen this goalkeeper. I don't know anything about this goalkeeper. And I don't know if this source is reputable. But I've seen many YouTubers and many content creators talk about this. All I will say is this. As long as I don't see official journalists that I know, big journalists that I know, talk about this, then I'm just going to take this with a pinch of salt. Take this with a pinch of salt, people. Whenever you see YouTubers reporting on this and talking about this, take it with a pinch of salt. It's not come from anywhere official. Don't get excited about it. I don't know anything about this goalkeeper anyway. So I don't have anything to say. I literally don't have anything to say about this at all. But it's out there. It is news that's floating around, and a lot of people have taken it as gospel, taken it as fact, taken it as official, and they are running with it. This is not official, people. It's not from an official channel. I don't think United are in talks with this goalkeeper or his agent at all. But we'll wait. We'll wait and see if anything concrete comes out about this. Then we, as a channel, we can take a deep dive. We can do the YouTube thing and watch his highlights as you do, you know. But yeah, I wouldn't look so much into that. Also, as you guys can see on your screen, HOJLUND. Now, I'm surprised that HOJLUND wasn't one of those players that said they wanted to leave, but he has come out many times saying he wants to fight for his place. I've seen him say he wants to fight for his place from reputable sources. But apparently, breaking news, Chris Wheeler, who is a journalist at the Daily Mail, he said that there's concrete interest from Inter Milan for Rasmus HOJLUND. Come on. If we can get 30 to 40 million on Rasmus, if we can get this guy on a permanent deal away from this club, it will be, like I said, glorious. We need this guy gone. This guy is one of the worst strikers. And it's not, listen, it's not his fault. He never forced Man United to buy him for £73 million. But for the money that we spent on this guy, he is one of the worst strikers I have seen play at this club. I need this guy gone. So Inter Milan, I'm telling you, he's the best striker ever. He's one of the best strikers I've seen. Please come and take him. It will change your life. He will change your team. He will make you win the Italian league. Please, please. Listen, I will tell lies. I will call Inter right now and say, Inter, you've got a gem. You've got a gem. So this is good news, people. It's good news. I hope this deal is a permanent deal and not a loan deal. If it happens, I think it will happen. I think there's so many clubs looking for a striker right now that somebody is willing to take a chance. Somebody's willing to look at HOJLUND and say, do you know what? The pace of the league, the fact that he has to make quick decisions like I keep saying, 0.5 seconds is the amount of time you have in the ball in the Premier League compared to about 1.5 seconds in Italy. In Italy, he's got time to think, he's got time to turn, he can run and drive into space. The Italian league is not the quickest league, so his pace in the Italian league looks monstrous. However, his pace in the Premier League, he just looks normal. He was supposed to be really, really quick, and he is quick, but I've never really seen that electric pace that he's supposed to have. So going back to Italy, I think is the best decision for him, and I hope this is serious. According to the news, it is serious. So yeah, I hope it's a permanent deal. Let me know what you guys think in the chat. What's TK saying? That's why Antony willing to take a cut. He will make more. Yeah, all right. Yeah. It makes sense. So I guess, I mean, the highest tax rate here, TK, is 45%. And you're saying that if you're new to the country, first 4 or 5 years, you pay a flat 20% tax rate. So you can afford to take a pay cut, as you've said, in Spain and still get the same amount, if you can do the calculations, and still get the same amount net of tax that you would get in the UK. So I hear that. That makes sense. People. Anyway, moving on, people. Moving on to further news for you. Fabrizio Romano has tweeted it, and it is official. Aston Villa, Barcelona, Chelsea, Roma, and Lyon are all fined by UEFA for breaching financial fair play regulations. Chelsea have been fined 20 million euros, Barcelona 15 million, Lyon 12.5 million, Aston Villa 11 million, and Roma 3 million. We kind of knew that Aston Villa were going to be fined because their PSR right now, they are like in red. They are in red. Aston Villa need to sell, and they need to sell desperately. They need to make money. The reason why Ollie Watkins is up for sale, one of the reasons, is because they need the money to fix all of these issues. And if they don't, they'll probably be fine next year. So just a bit of news. There's nothing really to get into, I don't think, with regards to this bit of news. But it's just for your information, just so you guys know who the villains are, who the guys are who are taking liberties, who are not, abiding by the rules. And Chelsea are the #1 culprits. And you expect Chelsea to be up there. Chelsea, spent about £2 billion, £2 billion on transfers in the space of 2 to 3 years. Absolutely insane. And I know Chelsea sell well. Chelsea buy young, put people on crazy contracts, send them out on loan to about 1 million clubs, then move them on for decent fees. They've got their system, but it's not perfect. And as you can see, they're breaking rules. So it is what it is. Nothing really to get into, in my opinion, when it comes to that story. Just so you guys know who the fuckers are. I'm joking. What else? Alejandro Garnacho, people. Let's quickly have a minute on Garnacho. So, Fabrizio Romano, and we probably know this already, but this is now official. It's always interesting what we know, what we hear through the grapevine, and then a month later, somebody says it officially. I'm like, yeah, we already knew this. Like, what the hell? Anyway, Alejandro Garnacho and Man United are in agreement since mid-June about his exit this summer. Yes, we already knew that. Garnacho wants to leave with the desire to stay in the Premier League. Once again, we already knew that. Man United are prepared to let him go. Once again, we already knew that. He won't return for training anytime soon. Once again, we already knew that. So this just cements what we already knew. And I feel like Fabrizio Romano and a lot of these journalists, they just tell us what we already know, but in different words. They do the same tweet over and over again, but in different ways. Fabrizio will do this tweet in about 4 days time, but it will say something like Man United really need to. Man United are trying desperately to sell Garnacho. They've set the price tag at X at 70 million, and they want him to be sold in the next 2 weeks. That's going to be the next tweet that Fabrizio puts out, and then we're going to be like, "Oh, it's news," and then I'm going to be like, "Well, it is news, but nothing's really changed from the last tweet or the tweet before. It's just you're just saying it in different ways." So it's good. Once again, that Garnacho's leaving. I want him to leave. I think he should leave. I don't think he's even good enough to be at the club anyway. And he was never my cup of tea. He was never my cup of tea. I called it. I called his attitude. When Ten Hag put his arm around him, when Ten Hag kicked out Sancho, didn't let Sancho play, let Sancho eat with these people and whatever, basically took the piss out of Sancho because Sancho stood up for himself and said, "Stop using me as a scapegoat." And then put his arm around Garnacho, gave Garnacho a new contract, made him play every game. Once that happened, I said, once I saw about 5 games, 5 starts from Garnacho, I made my mind up and I said, this kid is not good enough. I'm very, very good at looking at players, understanding who they are, understanding how they play, just watching them very, very closely, watching their first touch, watch their movement, watch their control. How do they link with the players? How good is their short passing? How good is their long passing? How good is their understanding of the game? How good is their dribbling? Do they dribble the ball close to their feet? Or do they kick the ball flipping 10 yards away from them? I'm very good at looking at talent and studying it and analysing it. And after 5 games, even though he's young, I said this footballer could be good in the future. He could be. But for where Man United need to go and need to be, I can't see him being a world-class talent. I just can't. So his attitude is also is terrible. And the whole CR7 boxes thing, yeah, that's the thing that tipped me over the edge. That's the thing that tipped me over the edge. So I'm happy that Garnacho wants to leave. I don't think he's going to leave anytime soon. I think that the way that he's behaved might have turned a few teams off him. I honestly believe that. But I hope that he gets his move and we get rid of him very, very soon. So let me know what you guys are saying, man. Let me know what you guys are thinking about these stories. Love these stories. You guys already know the fact that these 5 players are wanting to leave. I think most people already know that. If you believe this story about the new goalkeeper, John Victor, if you know anything about him, comment below and let me know something, because I haven't heard of him before. Yeah, the Thomas Partey, we started with Thomas Partey, people. That's the topic we started the stream on, and we spoke about Thomas Partey for at least about 15 minutes. So we've already discussed that at length. So if you want to know anything about that, want to find out my view on that issue, just go back and watch the beginning of this stream. Anyway, Antony was never gonna stay at Manchester. He said gonna, Fabrizio. Antony was never going to stay at Man United this upcoming season, as his desire is to explore a move. Real Betis want to keep Antony, but his salary remains key point to discuss. Once again, nothing we already know. Nothing we already don't know, should I say. And Fabrizio today seems like he is just rehashing old tweets and saying old information in new ways. That's what I feel like he's doing. This is not there's nothing new, there's no new developments, but this is a new tweet from Fabrizio. Quite interesting, guys. So yeah, that's Antony. So we know about Antony. We know about the 5 players that want to leave. I believe, and I keep saying this, Sancho and Antony are the 2 that I believe are the closest to leaving. It might change. It might change now that Nico Williams is staying at Atletico. Maybe the Rashford thing just goes from 0 to 100 in the space of 2 days. Who knows? But at the moment, those are the two players I think are the closest to exits. Anyway, there is further news. This was not part of my plans. I was not going to speak about this one, people. But once again, on your screen, people, is news from a journalist, a reputable journalist, a journalist from the Guardian, a Guardian newspaper. So they've said that Manchester United are interested in Mohamed Kudus. So we've apparently joined the Kudus race. Before, it was just, I believe, Tottenham and Chelsea that were looking at Kudus. And now United seem to have joined that race. He has an £85 million release clause, but only for the first 10 days of July. What is up with these people with these weird release clauses for like 2 weeks or a week or 10 days? Because I read somewhere that Dumfries for Inter Milan has a like 25 million euros release clause for the first 2 weeks of July. So these guys write it into their contracts that in July, if anybody offers you this amount, you have to listen. It's quite a weird and interesting way of writing a contract, I think. But anyway, the journalist goes on to say that West Ham are willing to sell for less than the clause. So that's good to know, because nobody in their right mind, is spending £85 million, which is about 100 million euros, on Mohamed flipping Kudus. Nobody's doing that. Nobody. So if they're demanding that amount of money for him, he's going to stay there. So the fact that this tweet goes on to say that they'll want or they're willing to sell for less, yeah, you better be willing to sell for less. No one's going to spend that on that player. Nobody. So I think Kudus will go for a similar amount to Cunha and Mbeumo. Everybody's looking at those deals and everyone is collaborating their transfer window and their fees according to what's already happened. So I think Kudus is going to go for around 55 to 65, between 55 to 70 million pounds. I think Kudus will go for. Yeah, Ranjit. These guys are smoking hash. They're smoking the good stuff, bro. Like £85 million. That's crazy. And the thing about Kudus, right? He didn't have a good season last season. Yes, we have to caveat the whole thing by saying West Ham in general didn't have a good season. So I'm not one of those guys who demands Kudus have a good season, even though everyone around him is playing crap. Football is a team sport. So if your team is playing rubbish, you'll probably play rubbish. But he didn't have a good season last season. Yeah. And even though he had a good season the season before, this season was not good. So the fact that they want £85 million for him, these guys, I want to smoke what they're smoking. I need it. I need it for my anxiety. So it is what it is, people. It is what it is. So that's news. Man United have entered the Kudus race. They're interested. They're interested. So I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing because even though I still believe that we will get Bryan Mbeumo. And if we don't get him, you can come on the channel and say, Chosen, you said we're going to get him, blah, blah, blah. That's fine. If we don't get him, it's not because of anything I don't know or anything I know. It's Man United. That's the reason why we won't get Mbeumo. But I think we will. I think we will. However, it's important that we keep our options open. It's important that we let Brentford know that don't take the piss out of us. Don't hold us for ransom. Are you mad? We got Kudus. We can get Kudus. There are other players out there that we can get for that 10 position. Now, Kudus for me plays more on the left 10 rather than the right 10. But he's still an option. He's still an option. So let me know what you guys think about this situation. Where is he going? I still feel like Kudus is going to go to Tottenham. I feel like Chelsea with João Pedro and other, like, I don't know if they need him. Chelsea are also in trouble with financial fair play. Tottenham haven't done anything this transfer window. Nothing. And they've got money. And they want Mbeumo, but Mbeumo's coming to Manchester United. So I think that Kudus will be a Tottenham player. I don't know for sure, but guys, but let me know what you guys are saying. Let me know what you guys are feeling about this Kudus situation. Let's see if we got any more stories. Any more stories to look at before we go, people. All right, here's another story. Burnley are closing in on a shock signing of Kyle Walker from Man City. The 35-year-old is taking medical before a permanent move. 2-year deal, believed worth up to $5 million to Manchester City if bonuses are met, and also potential $10 million saving. Burnley will see this as a major coup. I'm surprised that he's going to a team like Burnley. I'm surprised. I would have thought that... Oh, it's done. All right, guys. Apparently, the deal has been done. Let's put it up. Let's put it up. It's a done deal, people. Kyle Walker has officially signed for Burnley. Yeah. Very, very, very interesting. What's Darmesh saying? Are we going to play it? Should we? Should we play it? All right, let's play it, people. Let's see what Darmesh from Sky Sports News is saying about this.
This is an original story from David Ornstein. We've just had it confirmed, and that is that Burnley have agreed a deal with Manchester City to sign their England international defender Kyle Walker. The deal could be worth £5 million. He's been having a medical today, has Kyle Walker, and all being well, a formal announcement is expected soon. The contract discussions for this deal are over a 2-year contract. Remember, Walker had entered the final year of his contract at Manchester City. He spent last season on loan with the Serie A club AC Milan. Milan actually had an option to make that deal permanent.
Yeah, I was thinking it's weird because he spent last season on loan as well, didn't he?
To make the deal permanent. Walker then came back to Manchester City, but we almost felt like his future at Manchester City was basically over because he'd been allowed to go to AC Milan in the first place. He didn't travel with Manchester City to the United States for the FIFA.
All right then, guys. So, yeah, it's a strange one. I would have thought bigger teams would be in for him, and I thought he'd want to go somewhere bigger than Burnley. That surprised me. But good luck to Kyle Walker. I think is he still in the England squad? I'm not sure if he's still in the England squad, but Kyle Walker, good luck to you. That's official. That's done. That doesn't really have any sort of impact or implications on Manchester United. But it's just, interesting to know what other news is happening. Today's Friday, guys. So I know Diogo Jota incident shook the footballing world yesterday. And I know the Thomas Partey incident has shook the footballing world today, but the world continues to turn and things must happen. So we're just trying to find out, guys, if there's any more breaking news, any more things to report, any more things to talk about today. All right, let's put that one up. Let's see what we can have. Let's see what's going on with Noni Madueke, people. So Fabrizio once again tweeting, and understand Arsenal had a new round of talks for Noni Madueke as the player could be open to the move. Nothing advanced yet in terms of club-to-club approach or direct negotiations, but AFC maintained contacts. Like I said before, guys, this is I don't think Madueke is going to Arsenal. I think Arsenal's new guy that's in charge of transfers, everyone knows him now, apparently, right? He's known for trying to secure 3 deals at the same time. He's known for trying to put players and teams and clubs, play them off each other. He's trying to speak to Heze. He's trying to speak to Madueke. He's trying to speak to a few players and get them to kind of agree to go to Arsenal, and then he's going to go eeny, meeny. Like he's going to, try to get the fees lowered and all of these things. So I don't think he's going to go to Arsenal, but it's interesting that Arsenal are in for him because I don't know if he is an upgrade to Martinelli. In fact, he's not an upgrade to Martinelli. Let me stick my head out the sand and officially say, I do not believe he is an upgrade to Martinelli. His end product is erratic as. He's 23 years old or 24. So he's not a baby, and he's not better than Martinelli. He's not better than Trossard. I feel like this is a downgrade on the players that they currently have in their squad and in the first team. So I don't think this is happening. But if it happens, I'll be very happy because it means Arsenal are going in the wrong direction. They're going in the wrong direction. If you're getting Madueke to start for you and you want to win the league, what are you doing? What are you doing? So Arsenal, please sign this player. Like, I do not want to sign any more Chelsea rejects. Mason Mount has scarred me for life. He couldn't get into the Chelsea team. Chelsea pushed him out because he wasn't good enough. And he was injury prone. He kept getting injured and injured and injured. He was sitting on the bench, and we came and we gave them 60 million euros for that player. Only for him to do what? Sit on the bench for us. The same thing he was doing for Chelsea. Sit on the bench injured. He's a runner. He's an athlete. He runs and runs and runs. He is some of these football coaches' dream because he just runs forever and he gives you all of that off the ball crap. Yeah. But on the ball, it's so basic. Mason Mount. I can't do Mason Mount prop. Mason Mount needs to leave this football club. He's just taking up space. Mason Mount is getting paid, yeah, over 200 grand a week. He's one of the highest earners at this club. And nobody talks about him leaving or him getting sold for us to complete other transfers. There's a big bias, yeah, with regards to who needs to get sold for us to recoup money to get further transfers and who doesn't. There's certain people, certain players who are sitting on nice contracts. Luke Shaw is never spoken about in the media. He sits on about 180 grand a week, doesn't play for us ever, makes himself available for like the final, then goes away again for another year. Rinse and repeat. Nobody talks about him leaving the football club and us getting money for him. Mason Mount, all of these players. So I always find that interesting, people. Very, very interesting.
So the reason I put this tweet up, this was Chris Wheeler, Daily Mail, reported literally 4 hours ago.
Right.
Rashford's camp gave this information to the press.
Right.
There's a drama unfolding. Likely, he knew he was going to be released.
Yeah.
He wants to cause a bit of ready to give 100%.
Okay.
Expects to fully be involved in pre-season training, and then literally within an hour, they put Cunha's getting a 10. He's been informed.
Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting, people. I've been told the backstory behind this tweet, which I guess you're going to hear from this channel first before anything else. So this is very important. This is Chris Wheeler tweeting 4 hours ago.
Midday, so 6 hours ago.
So 6 hours ago. 8 hours ago, right? This is Chris Wheeler tweeting 8 hours ago. And this is clearly coming from Rashford's representatives. This is coming from Rashford's camp. So United star due back in training on Monday. Future uncertain amid Barca and Bayern interest. Expects to be fully involved in pre-season. Ready to give 100% after Villa loan trained in Marbella or Marbella with fitness coaches. So this is a tweet from Chris Wheeler, and 8 hours ago, and clearly this is a brief from Rashford's camp. Rashford's camp, in their minds, want to make it look like he just went out on loan, did his thing, he's coming back, he's going to give 100%, he's going to try to fight for his place in the team. There's pictures of him with Ruben Amorim, as you can see, pictures of him smiling and laughing with Manchester United team. So this tweet is supposed to generate emotion. It's supposed to make the fans want Rashford back. It's supposed to make the fans say, yes, Rashford is coming back. All of these things, right? It's supposed to create that. So I guess the issue now is, was Rashford's camp told already that his number will be given to Cunha and that he's going to be given 2 or 3 weeks in July to find a club? Was his camp already told that before they tweeted this? Because if Rashford camp was told, listen, this guy is no longer, wanted at the club, he has to go find a new club, blah, 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 and they still go and brief a journalist, after being told that, they go and brief a journalist this stuff, it means that they are purposely trying to cause something. They're trying to create another narrative separate to the narrative that Manchester United has put out. However, another scenario is they weren't told. They did not know Marcus Rashford was going to lose his number. They didn't actually know that he wasn't allowed back in training until the news came out 3 hours ago, I think, from Sky Sports. And that's the first time anybody heard about the fact that these players weren't allowed back in training and they were going to be given further time in July to find a new club. Either way, somebody's playing games here, clearly. Marcus Rashford's camp, guys, you need to understand, they are PR. They are PR mad. Their PR is really, really good. For the last 4 years, I've seen leaks out of the club that I know have come from Marcus Rashford's camp. Leaks out of the club that I know has come from Harry Maguire's camp. I've seen the way Marcus Rashford's camp manipulates the fans and just like the club do too. Don't forget, Manchester United, they manipulate us all the time. They lie to us all the time to create that feeling, to create that religious relationship that we have with the club. They need to maintain that. So it's not just players' camp that feed rubbish to journalists. The football clubs do all the time. So yeah, it's very, very, very interesting, people. Very, very, very interesting. What's TK saying? Signing roster players from any top 6 club, you're getting their rejects. This is why Cunha and Mbeumo are great signings. Best players of their respective team are now ours. Neither are rejects. That's TK. Probably the best guy on this channel by a long mile. If I'm going to give awards. Let me be real. Yeah. I agree with that. Ranjit, big up yourself, my bro. Shaw is retiring here. Bro, don't tell me that, man. I want to hear good news, Ranjit. I don't want to hear that, man. Please. Let my mind think positive thoughts and good thoughts. You know, that's the kind of thing you wake up in a nightmare, bare sweats. You just wake up like, I look sure. And then someone says, what's going on? You're like, oh, man, I had a dream. I had a nightmare that Luke Shaw, he played out his whole career here and he left on a free. He ended his career at Man United. I just had a nightmare. And now Ranjit is trying to make this nightmare come to life. Shaw is retiring here. No one with brains would ever buy him. Ranjit, I would like to say that you're wrong, but deep down in my heart, I think you're right. Nah, he's retired already. It's true. Luke Shaw retired, when he broke his leg. Let's all be honest, guys. That's why, like, as much as I hate Luke Shaw, yeah, I don't hate him as a person. No, the thing is, I say I don't hate him as a person, but I know a little bit about him as a person. I know people who know him, and they've spoken to me about him. But Luke Shaw retired when he broke his leg. When he came back after that big leg break in Europe, when he was playing for Louis van Gaal, and his leg did this. His leg was doing that, yeah. When he came back from that injury, he was never the same. This guy was not rushing into no challenges. This guy was not bombing forward anymore. At one point, yeah, when we got him, the way that he used to bomb forward and back and he used to dribble, and he's from Southampton, right? Southampton who developed Theo Walcott, Southampton who had Gareth Bale. Southampton had the best academy at that time. I know the best academies fluctuate. First of all, West Ham had a great academy with Joe Cole and Rio and Anton Ferdinand and Carrick and Frank Lampard. All these guys came from West Ham. Then Southampton for a period of time had the best academy. So it does fluctuate. But at one point, yeah, I thought Luke Shaw, yeah, was going to be like almost the next Gareth Bale. He had all the technical attributes, bro. He can cross the ball, pass, he could shoot really well. He was athletic, he could dribble. I was like, we spent £30 million on him. He was the most expensive teenager in the world. I think at that time, 18 years old. And he was good. And I liked Luke Shaw, but after he broke his leg, man, he came back and he was never the same. Man was pulling out of every mad challenge. He wasn't bombing forward. He just got lazy. He never overlapped or nothing. He just stopped at the halfway line and stood there. So, and then he just kept deteriorating. Kept getting more injuries. We kept hearing about his diet. He became lazy and more lazy. And after 3 years, yeah, 3 years after his injury, like in his like mid-20s, I think I gave up on Luke Shaw. I saw the trajectory. I saw where he was going. He was not improving anymore. He lacked the effort. Everyone kept calling Rashford, Antony, Martial, all the black players lazy, while at the same time Luke Shaw was just there not running. Like, and I always used to think to myself, why isn't Luke Shaw being called lazy? But everyone else gets called Pogba was called lazy. But Luke Shaw was never, ever branded with that lazy title. Like, it was crazy. So, yeah. TK said, after breaking his leg, Shaw went in permanent club medical, bro. Yeah. That's it. And now, he turns up one match a season. Usually the final, he gets ready for. And then he plays in the final. He somehow gets injured in the final. And then it's released that after the final, Luke Shaw's injured. And he's going to go away for another year. Rinse and repeat. And he picks up his 200 grand a week check. And no one says anything. So it's annoying how Martial gets told to leave the club because he's always injured. He's always injured. He's never available. I hate him. And Phil Jones, Luke Shaw, and Mason Mount can stay at the club because they're always injured and they don't get the same heat for it. Listen, when it comes to me, yeah, because I'm so logical and I keep things constant, I see where the bias is. I can see where one person is getting treated differently, or one entity is getting treated differently to another entity when you keep things the same. I've got a really good eye for that. You can't pull the wool over my fucking eyes, bruv. Never. Ever. Not on this channel. So, yeah, Ranjit, I agree. His body never recovered. And if you look at his body, and listen, I always say this as well, just to finish. People with body shapes, this might sound funny, guys, but people with body shapes like Luke Shaw, like Reece James for Chelsea, and you know what I'm talking about, people. Those people who are a bit, they're always going to get injured. It's just physics, people. You can't jump up in the air 100 times with that body, with all that weight on you, and not hurt your ankles eventually, not hurt your knees eventually. You're going to hurt yourself. You're going to get injured. And it's not necessarily Reece James' fault. Reece James, if you look at Lauren James, his sister, they are chunky people. These guys can go to gym and run as much as they want, yeah. But their body shape is their body shape. Look at people like Bruno. Bruno is a stick. He's skinny. Most footballers are very, very slim. You have to be athletic. You have to carry your whole body weight around and do all of these quick movements and shift your body here and do this. So if you can't carry your body weight around, your knees and your ankles are going to get messed up. So Luke Shaw, if you look at Luke Shaw's body, let's be real. He's a bit on the, thick side. No homo. So he's always going to get injured. On top of that, once you get a big injury, you usually compensate other sides of your body to make up for the injury. And that's never a good thing. It's never a good thing. Like, you usually, if you break your right knee, your left knee will probably get injured because you will start, your body will shift and you'll start putting more weight on your left knee to compensate, which means your left knee is going to get fucked. Like, usually one injury, if you don't do rehab properly, will lead to another injury and lead to another injury because your body's not, your knee's not in isolation to your hamstring. Like, your muscles are all connected. Your body's one fluid thing, bro. So it's a shame, as you guys say. But yeah, his body never recovered, bro. TK says, Wiz, when a player is out for the season, who pays his wages? In North American sport, that player's salary is now off the books and paid by insurance. Team uses salary cap. So in football, as far as I know, your wages are discontinued. Just because you're injured, it doesn't mean your wages stop. There might be a clause in your contract, and this is not that if you're injured and you're not playing, your wages drop by 20% or something like that. That might happen. But you still get paid, and because your contract, football's weird because you're not really an employee. Like, you're contractor, almost, in a way. Even though you are an employee at the same time. There's always that blurred lines between employee and contractor. So you still get paid. I do believe there will be in some contracts, some clubs will say if you get injured, your salary drops. Similarly, there will be in some contracts where if we don't, this already, TK, that if we don't finish in the Champions League, everyone has to take a 30% pay cut. Those sort of things are in contracts as well. So both can happen. I think most football clubs will have a medical insurer, so if you're off sick, and they might help cover some of the wages, but you'll still get paid. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of footballers, when they're injured, they're not really, some of them are not rushing to come back because they're nice. They're nice. So players get full wages here, covered by insurance. It's a win-win for the team financially. Oh, okay. I don't know if insurance backs the underlying wages. I don't know. Either way, the player still sees, because basically what you're saying is that the player still sees and still gets their wage, but the wage is just paid by the insurance company. The what's the word I'm looking for? Underwrites. The underwrites. So that could be a thing here, but I do believe that your wages are, because the club has set aside your wage. The club knows how much you get paid, and they're gonna pay you. They've set aside your wages. Of course, in an ideal world, yeah, they wouldn't want to pay you their full wages. In an ideal world, in a capitalistic world, the club doesn't want to do that. But in football, I think they do. They will continue to pay your wage, and the only way to not really do that is if they write it in your contract, and not just yours, but everyone else's contract, that if you're injured, you get 20% pay cut, or they just cancel your contract. But I don't know, and I've never seen, TK, a club cancel anybody's contract because they're too injured or they get injured too much. I've never seen that, ever, in football. But fingers crossed, I know football changes, man. Who knows what might start happening. Okay. There is a little bit of news on Mbumo. Yeah, I'm not gonna. this is not really news, people. I ain't gonna lie, it's not really news. It's once again Ben Jacobs, has been all over every news. Like he's just everywhere. This Ben Jacobs guy. So this is basically just saying that, the deal is really just about the structure and the add-ons. And to be honest, you guys don't need you guys don't really need Ben Jacobs to tell you that. I've been saying this. Everyone's been saying this. It's the structure of the deal that is the issue. And the add-ons. So that's not really news. I was gonna play you the video, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I'm not gonna play you the video. What else is breaking? Anything breaking before we go, people? Contracts get buried. Wait, bring in another player. Oftentimes teams here will put the player on injured reserve and bring in another player to cover. Contracts get buried on medical. We're just wondering if that exists in football. Oftentimes teams are here will put the player on injured reserve and bring in another player. They're coveted. Contracts get buried in medical. We're just wondering if that's. Am I understanding what you're saying, TK? Am I being slow? I think I'm being a bit slow, bro. Forgive me, man, if I'm being a bit slow, my bro. Forgive me if I'm being a bit slow. My bad. Probably it's probably me. I'm trying to understand what you're saying.
Contracts. Oftentimes the teams will put the player on injured reserve and bring in the player cover.
No.
If someone's got a medical injury for a long time, because in America you get insurance really differently, like medical.
Yeah, it's not the same.
We don't have medical insurance here because we're not.
Yeah, it's not, we don't have.
It's free here.
Yeah. I mean, I think because in the UK, healthcare is free. Nobody pays for healthcare.
Basically, you're saying they game the system by putting a player on medical, so they don't have to pay the wages, and then they take the money. The insurance company.
They game the system by putting a player on medical, so they don't have to pay the wages. The insurance covers it, and then they use that money to get someone else. That is, bro. That is. I'm not gonna lie, TK. I hear you now. I understand, bro. I'm not gonna lie. The reason why I'm a bit confused, is clearly that's foreign to me, bro. You know the ones where I'm like, I'm trying to put my head into it. I get it now, but I'm like, that is so foreign to my brain that I'm like, right, is that what happens over there? I can tell you that doesn't really happen over here. It doesn't. And a large part of it is because anything you do medically is free. Like any operation you have in this country is free. Like your taxes pay for everything. So that's probably why that doesn't really exist in the UK as much, if I'm being real, TK. But that is very interesting, bro. Very interesting. Yeah, that can't happen over here at all. Wow. All right. I think we've covered a lot of stuff today, man. We've spoken about a lot of things that are just crap. A lot of things that we know are not going to happen. Some things that we already know already, but why not mention them? And some decent news, some interesting news. Man like Ranjit, his insurance premium must be £1 billion per year, bro. The amount of injuries this guy has, bro. Like one of these days, we're gonna go and look through Luke Shaw's injuries, because when he's out for a year, it's not one injury. It's like he's out for 4 months with this injury, and then he comes back to training, and then he gets another injury. Then he's out for 1 month, and he comes back to training, and then he twinges this muscle. Like, yeah, Luke Shaw is cool. There's one thing I'm going to say about Luke Shaw that I know for a fact, when I speak to Luke Shaw's family, and I have spoken to Luke Shaw's family. That is why, my dislike for Luke Shaw is probably more than football. Because when I spoke to his... I almost said it out. When I spoke to somebody that I know, they told me that he's one of the most laziest people that they've ever met. That everyone, actually, to be honest, I don't think I should be saying this, but I'm here now. I'm here. Everyone in his family has always said, how the hell did this guy become a footballer? He doesn't want to do anything. His diet, how he eats, he eats really, really badly. He doesn't eat healthily. Luke Shaw is one of those people that you get told that for 3 months, you got to eat like this, you got to do this, and you got to do that. And when you do all of these things I've told you to do, you will get better. Luke Shaw's one of them people that after a week, he's like, fuck this, I'm going to eat my burger. I'm going to miss one day of he just comes across as very unserious. And that's one of the reasons why another reason why he gets a lot of injuries. And that's what I've been told by somebody who's very, very, very close to him. So that is that, people. That's one of the reasons why I don't really have time for Luke Shaw, because yeah, that's all I have to say. Anyway, it's been a good stream. It's been a good stream. What is this? What is this, people? Fluminense fans put ketchup on a pizza in front of Inter fans.
Italians hate when you defile pizza or pasta with ketchup. They get upset.
This is stupid. I get it. Italian people hate when you defile their pizza, when you put things like ketchup on their pizza. It's like, it's the worst insult. It's the worst insult to them, and these fans are that's just so silly. Something silly to end the stream on, I guess. All right then, people. Lovely. It's been a lovely stream. Like I said, we started off with the Thomas Partey stuff. I gave my view. I'm very, very strict when it comes to these sort of things, and I will be strict when it comes to that kind of thing on this channel. You're innocent until proven guilty. Let's wait until the system does what it does. It's a topic that transcends football, and I love women, and I hate men. I hate men. I hate women. So if you are a man that hates women, then this channel ain't for you. I'm gonna punch you up, bro. Like I'm serious. I'm gonna punch you up through the screen. I can't have no red pilling, women hating people on my channel, bro. I need free thinkers, people who can think outside the box and think positively and treat people with respect, bro. So, but innocent until proven guilty, as I've said. So we started off with Thomas Partey. We broke down everything that's happening, and what everything means. We spoke about the 5 Man United players that want out. We know who they are already, but just I guess a reminder who wants out, who wants to leave. We spoke about Cunha being given the number 10 shirt. Rashford camp not happy. Rashford's camp putting out different stories. We spoke about Nico Williams signing a new contract, and could that pave the way for Rashford's Barcelona move, since Nico Williams is no longer going to go to Barcelona. So we've covered so many topics today on a Friday, guys. It's been a decent stream, decent conversation as well in the chat as usual. TK MVP every day, all day. I've got your back, you got mine, bro. So we're gonna roll. We're gonna do this thing, bro, until we get 1,000 subscribers, 2,000. We're gonna keep pushing this thing, bro. So we got this. So yeah. This is a good stream. I hope you guys have a good weekend. Have a good Friday, people. If anything major happens, which I do not think so, I think the Thomas Partey thing is already major. But if anything else happens, I will go live. If we get Here We Go over the weekend, I will go live. I will not do... There's no weekend show scheduled. It's a Monday to Friday show at the moment. But if something big happens on the weekend, I will go live. And I'll have a conversation with you lot, as usual, man. It's been big show. Yeah, man. TK. Yeah, you too, man. I'm off to Whistler. I'm gonna look that up right now. Look up Whistler. What does that mean?
Let's look it up on screen so everyone else can see.
TK said he's off to Whistler. Let's do that. What do you mean, TK? Don't go anywhere. Let's see what Whistler is.
Canada.
What is that?
Skiing. To go skiing. People go skiing.
Is that what you're talking about, bro? The skiing.
Epic skiing and snowboarding.
Is that where you're going? Wait, what's the weather like? Oh, it's a resort. Yeah, yeah. That looks sick. Go up to the get some images as well. Yeah. Ooh.
Cold when it's pretty. Oh, and it's not always like.
Are we looking at the right thing? TK on screen. That looks nice still. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of snow. I'm not the biggest fan of snow, and all I'm seeing is bare snow and bare cold. But it looks nice. Is it what? Relaxing? Is it relaxing? Activities? What are you saying? Vibrant mountainside. I ain't gonna lie, yeah, it looks alright, you know. It looks nice. How long are you gonna go there for? Just a day? Oh, it looks nice. What's the weather like out there right now? Weather. Yeah, let's do that. 22 degrees. All right. So it's not even that cold, and you still got the snow, and you still got it. All right, I get it. You sold me. It looks all right. It looks like a nice little getaway. How far is it from you? Is it like it's 25C and you can walk on a glacier? You can walk on a glacier. You're going to enjoy the nature. Oh man, that looks beautiful, man. Look at the weather in the UK. It's gonna rain on Saturday and Sunday. But yeah, that looks beautiful, man. Enjoy, bro. I'm a bit jealous. I ain't gonna lie. I feel like I need a break myself. I've got no holidays booked this year at all. This year is one of them grinding years of sort of saving peas in it. But if I can go anywhere, like for a weekend, fly out somewhere, I would, man. I would. I've always wanted to go to Canada. Everyone keeps telling me, go to Canada. Go to Canada. It's a vibe. Go there. So it's on my list, bro. It's on my list. It's a 2-hour drive, he said. So you're going for the weekend? No, it's not. It looks good, man. Enjoy it. Yeah, I'm a bit jealous, man. But you know when people say they're a bit jealous, they're not really jealous. But I'm just saying that I would love to go to there, man. It looks nice. It looks kind of like the Peak District in the UK, a little bit in terms of the views. It looks like the scenery is just. It looks stunning. Absolutely stunning, man. Anyway, if you ever make it out here, you fall in love. Bro. I have no attachment to the UK. The way I feel right now, I can live. As long as they take me and they're not gonna, abuse me, I could probably live anywhere, But anyway, it's been lovely, people. Big up yourselves. Thanks for joining the chat. Have a good weekend. As usual, share the video if you can. Like the video. All of this stuff matters, man. I'm trying my best to do something a bit different, give you a different flavor, different perspective than most of the other channels are going to give you on some of these things. So if you like what you see, like what you hear, help me promote it, man. I would love and appreciate you even more. Big up yourselves to the maximum. Listen, a lot of madness has happened this week. Jota, love people, man. Be kind, bro. And yeah, have a good weekend. Big up yourselves. Peace.